They said it would be Ford, maybe Toyota, or some hypercar from Europe. Nobody guessed Subaru. No viral stunts, no cult of personality, just silence, and a stunning reveal that hit Elon Musk like a lightning bolt on stage. While Tesla was live streaming promises, Subaru was building reality. And when the curtain finally dropped, it wasn't just a car, it was a statement. Subaru didn't come to compete, it came to expose. So why did Elon panic? How did a brand known for mountain trails and dog lovers just dominate the EV world? And what if the biggest threat to Tesla was never about tech, but about trust? The quiet brand that nobody saw coming. Subaru never needed to scream for attention. For decades, it carved out a loyal following without flashy commercials, celebrity endorsements, or Silicon Valley spectacle. It was the car of hikers, teachers, dog lovers, and snowplow operators. You bought one because you wanted something that worked in the rain, in the snow, and on the worst back road in the county. It was the car that never died, not the one you bragged about. But that reputation, that modesty, it was the perfect camouflage. While Tesla dominated headlines with promises of autonomous futures and stainless steel trucks, Subaru was planning a different kind of revolution, one grounded in utility, science, and precision. It wasn't interested in being loud, it was interested in being right, and by the time the world noticed what Subaru had been building, it was already too late for Elon Musk. In an age where tech giants measure success in clickbait and shock value, Subaru played the long game. It kept its head down, partnered with Toyota on next-gen battery research, and invested quietly in rugged EV infrastructure suited for the real world. Rural towns, harsh winters, and backcountry trails. It tested, refined, and waited. And when it finally stepped into the ring, it did not arrive with hype. It arrived with numbers, patents, and a machine that made Tesla's top models look like museum pieces. The irony? The same brand that Silicon Valley dismissed as outdated had just blindsided one of the most powerful billionaires in the world. And it did so without changing its core identity. Subaru didn't abandon its roots. It weaponized them. The game had changed. But that was only the beginning. Subaru's EV reveal that humiliated Tesla on stage. It was supposed to be just another industry expo. Elon Musk wasn't even scheduled to speak until the final panel. But as journalists shuffled into their seats, expecting low-key product reveals and recycled climate buzzwords, Subaru detonated the room. On the screen appeared a vehicle nobody saw coming. It looked sharp, clean, unmistakably Subaru, but with design elements that made Tesla's Cybertruck look like a child's drawing in comparison. Then came the specs: 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.8 seconds, an all-wheel drive system calibrated for icy climbs and off-grid terrain, and a solid-state battery system that had been quietly perfected behind closed doors. Subaru had skipped the press leaks, skipped the teaser trailers, and walked straight into prime time with a prototype that shredded expectations. The moment the specs hit the screen, the crowd froze. A few seats over, Elon Musk leaned forward, visibly agitated. Cameras caught his frown. Then came the murmurs, the rising chatter, and the headlines being written in real time. Subaru humiliates Tesla with surprise launch. Cybertruck outclassed in under 5 minutes. And is Elon Musk losing his grip? Subaru's lead engineer, in a calm, professor-like tone, explained how they had re-engineered the wheelbase to accommodate battery weight without compromising agility. How the vehicle's onboard software had already completed 1 million miles of terrain simulation testing. And how the cold weather range was outperforming any EV on the market. It was a masterclass in quiet competence. And the Tesla faithful? They were silent. Then someone from the audience asked the question everyone was thinking. Was this a direct response to the Cybertruck? The Subaru rep didn't flinch. No, he said, we started building this before the Cybertruck was announced. That line made headlines for days. But it was Elon's response that would keep the media spiral going. We did the digging so you didn't have to. Wouldn't it make sense to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next? Elon's live meltdown. What happened after Subaru's reveal? What should have been a routine closing panel turned into a spectacle. Elon Musk walked on stage late, looking distracted. The crowd, still buzzing from Subaru's reveal, offered polite applause, but nothing close to the adoration he was used to. A few minutes into his remarks about the future of AI-integrated driving systems, a reporter interrupted with a question. What do you make of Subaru's launch this morning? Elon tried to laugh it off. I mean, come on, it's Subaru, he said, rolling his eyes. But the crowd didn't laugh with him. They were still digesting the morning's surprise. Within minutes, Elon went off script. He brought up the Cybertruck, defensively citing its towing capacity and steel durability. But every sentence felt like a rebuttal to a competitor that hadn't even called him out by name. time. Then came the tweets. 1 minute after stepping off stage, Elon posted, "Funny how some companies think reinventing the wheel means copying Tesla." It was deleted less than an hour later. Media outlets pounced. CNBC ran a segment titled "Elon on Edge," while Reddit threads exploded with side-by-side comparisons. YouTube analysts broke down his body language, noting the agitation, the stuttering, the defensive posture. This wasn't the confident Elon Musk of previous unveilings. This was a man who had just watched a quiet rival leapfrog his crown jewel. And what was Subaru doing during all this? Nothing. No snarky tweets, no press tour, no social media war. It didn't have to gloat. It had already won the room. But Subaru's success didn't come out of nowhere. It had been a long time coming. From granola to global, Subaru's rebrand was years in the making. For most of its life, Subaru thrived in the margins. Campgrounds, college towns, and snowy states. It wasn't a disruptor, it was dependable. And in a world chasing the next big thing, that was easy to overlook. But behind the scenes, Subaru was evolving. It began by deepening its partnership with Toyota, leveraging decades of combustion know-how into a next-gen hybrid and EV platform that prioritized torque balance, efficiency, and durability. It opened new R&D facilities in regions where EVs would face the harshest real-world tests, sub-zero climates, high-altitude terrains, and remote locations where charging reliability was non-negotiable. Subaru engineers weren't trying to make the fastest EV. They were trying to make the smartest one for the people most ignored by EV marketing: working-class drivers, rural commuters, outdoor professionals. They built battery systems designed to survive temperature extremes, regenerative braking tuned for mountain descents, and interface software that didn't require a tech degree to operate. Then came the infrastructure. While Tesla focused on interstate superchargers and luxury storefronts, Subaru worked quietly with regional utilities to install community-based charging hubs, often in national park-adjacent towns, ski lodges, and forestry outposts. It wasn't a race for headlines, it was a blueprint for longevity. Tesla had spent over a decade building its myth. Subaru had spent the same time building something else entirely: trust. And now that trust was paying off in the most public, humiliating way imaginable for Elon Musk. And the world, it was just starting to pay attention. Subaru's anti-tech tech strategy just crushed Tesla's philosophy. Subaru did something no one in Silicon Valley would dare. It built high-tech that didn't look like tech. No flashy displays, no spaceship dashboards, no 4-hour tutorials just to figure out how to change the air conditioning. Instead, it gave you something that felt like driving, not navigating a software platform. While Elon Musk was obsessing over eliminating buttons and turning your car into a giant iPad on wheels, Subaru took a completely different route. It quietly perfected its EyeSight driver assist system, a twin-camera setup mounted where you'd least expect it, right above the rearview mirror. No LiDAR, no radar arrays, just vision like a human being. And here's the twist: it worked. EyeSight became one of the most praised advanced safety systems in the world, winning accolades for crash prevention, lane assist, and adaptive cruise that felt intuitive instead of invasive. No autopilot lawsuits, no recalls for sudden acceleration, no 15-minute Twitter rants from the CEO explaining what the system meant to do. It just worked, and consumers noticed. This invisible innovation didn't just win over cautious buyers. It exposed a crack in Tesla's entire user experience. Elon had made driving more complicated in the name of elegance. Subaru made it easier in the name of trust. And when those philosophies collided in the minds of everyday drivers, the result wasn't even close. Safety, usability, and confidence crushed minimalism and over-the-air hype. But this wasn't just about dashboards and safety systems. It was the tip of a much deeper cultural iceberg, one that stretched all the way from Tokyo to Palo Alto. Japan's engineering versus Silicon Valley's hype machine. If Tesla was born out of disruption, Subaru was born out of discipline. One writes tweets, the other runs tests. One moves fast and breaks things. The other moves deliberately and makes sure it never has to apologize for what's broken. And in the great cultural clash between these two brands, the public started noticing who actually followed through. Subaru's engineering teams don't hold product launches like rock concerts. They don't ship features half-baked, then promise future updates. They don't use their customers as beta testers. Instead, they do something old-fashioned. They get it right the first time. And while that may not earn front-page headlines, it builds something Elon's empire is now struggling to retain: loyalty. Every component in a Subaru is overbuilt. Every system is designed for longevity. Ask anyone who's driven a Forester for 15 years through snow, floods, or 200,000 miles of gravel roads, and they'll tell you, these cars don't just survive, they endure. Meanwhile, Tesla's vehicles, while revolutionary at launch, have developed reputations for misaligned panels, touchscreen failures, and quality control roulette. The early excitement that once excused these issues is wearing thin, and the contrast couldn't be clearer. Tesla builds for scale, Subaru builds for legacy, and it's that long-game mindset that allowed Subaru to strike now, at the perfect moment, when hype fatigue was peaking and substance was in short supply. The crowd that once bought Teslas for status was now craving trust, and for the first time in a decade, Elon's storytelling wasn't enough to stop them from leaving. The narrative wasn't being told by marketing anymore. It was being told by former believers. Why Tesla fanboys turned their backs after the Subaru showdown. For years, Tesla's online community was its secret weapon. Reddit threads full of evangelists, YouTube channels that treated every software patch like a revelation, Twitter armies defending Elon's every word. But after Subaru's reveal, something changed. The loyalty didn't fade, it snapped. Within hours of Subaru's EV unveiling, the Tesla subreddit was flooded with side-by-side comparisons. Subaru's design was cleaner, the specs were stronger, the price was sharper, and it didn't have vaporware written all over it. Memes exploded. YouTubers who built their channels on Tesla fandom started uploading videos titled, "Why I'm Selling My Tesla," or "Subaru just did what Elon couldn't." Even longtime Model 3 owners began to admit it. They were tired of being beta testers, tired of the endless wait for promised features, tired of watching Elon fight political battles online while their service centers were overbooked and understaffed. Subaru's quiet, confident performance hit like a wake-up call. The backlash wasn't just online, it was emotional. Fans felt betrayed. Influencers who once preached Tesla loyalty began praising Japanese engineering. Some even pre-ordered Subaru's new EV on camera. They didn't do it because of specs, they did it because it felt like sanity. Stability, the return of a car company that actually listened instead of talked. And Tesla's attempts to regain control of the narrative? That's where things went from bad to worse. Now let's break down exactly how Subaru pulled this off. Not just with engineering, but with global alliances, real-world product rollouts, and a quiet strategy that was years in the making. Because as it turns out, while Elon was chasing attention, Subaru was building something unshakable. Why governments are betting on Subaru, not Tesla? Governments around the world were lining up behind Elon Musk for a long time. They gave Tesla subsidies, tax credits, and VIP status in international negotiations. But those days are fading fast. Because today, the money, the legislation, and the political trust, it's not following Tesla, it's following Subaru. From Tokyo to Canberra to Brussels, policymakers have shifted their focus to brands they can count on. Tesla might offer spectacle, but Subaru offers stability, and that's what public institutions are craving in an increasingly volatile tech landscape. In Japan, Subaru is receiving generous federal and prefecture-level incentives to expand domestic EV production. In Australia, the government is rolling out EV infrastructure programs that specifically include Subaru in procurement considerations. And in Europe, where regulatory hurdles are tightening, Subaru's collaborative ties with Toyota and alignment with regional emission strategies have made it a safe, compliant, and forward-facing partner. It's not just about subsidies, it's about temperament. Tesla has become unpredictable. From Musk's polarizing tweets to the company's resistance to standardized charging and union talks, governments are increasingly reluctant to put their chips on Tesla's table. Subaru, on the other hand, has built quiet reputations for stability, transparency, and engineering clarity. Their CEO isn't trending on social media every week. He's negotiating contracts, delivering vehicles, and staying out of culture wars. This pivot in trust matters more than most people realize. Government deals create permanent infrastructure. They influence consumer decisions. They shape policy language and international emissions agreements. And right now, those conversations are being had with Subaru, not Tesla, because institutional trust isn't won with tweets. It's won with results. Elon sold the dream of factories. Subaru quietly built the factories that deliver dreams. Tesla's brand is officially uncool. while Subaru surges. Once upon a time, driving a Tesla meant something. It meant you were ahead of the curve, that you were part of the revolution. Now, it's a meme, and not the kind that wins hearts. Tesla's cultural credibility has collapsed, and Subaru just claimed the street cred that Elon lost. Just look around. Gen Z isn't posting TikToks about Tesla anymore. They're tagging Subi Gang decals on modded Crosstreks and rallying BRZs through mountain roads. The vibe has shifted. Owning a Tesla used to be a tech flex. Now it's corporate cosplay. Meanwhile, Subaru's quirky, durable, fun first image has gone viral in all the right ways. Subaru's brand identity has always been unique, but now they're leaning into it with smarter marketing and online community engagement. Their campaigns don't scream innovation, they whisper authenticity, and that's resonating in a post-hype world. The outdoorsy image, the all-wheel drive reliability, the cult-like fan base, that's all translating into mainstream relevance, especially as electric vehicles become a norm, not a novelty. Influencers are shifting too. Environmental activists, pet owners, amateur racers, they're all forming an overlapping Venn diagram that Subaru fits better than Tesla ever could. Why? Because Subaru isn't trying to sell you the future. It's inviting you into a tribe. No quarterly drama, no social media rants, just torque, tread, and trailhead loyalty. Tesla chased icon status. Subaru built a subculture. Elon's tech edge? Gone. Subaru quietly took it. Here's the real kicker. Subaru isn't playing catch-up anymore. They're leading, and the proof is in the tech. Tesla was once synonymous with innovation, but now the Cybertruck is years late. The autopilot lawsuits are mounting, and battery tech that was once cutting edge is falling behind. Meanwhile, Subaru, thanks to its deep integration with Toyota's research ecosystem, is rolling out vehicles with more dependable range, better modularity, and platform stability that actually makes global scaling realistic. It's not flashy, it's not wrapped in glass roofs and steering yokes, but it works. And when you zoom out, that's all that matters. While Tesla spent years trying to perfect self-driving hype, Subaru focused on eyesight, a driver assist suite that didn't overpromise and underdeliver. It's not a magic button. It's a real-world system tuned for safety, not marketing. It works today, not soon. And when it comes to energy storage and drivetrain efficiency, Subaru's tie-ins with Panasonic and Toyota give them access to battery cells that are lighter, more consistent, and cost-effective. All the pieces Tesla was supposed to have mastered years ago, Subaru picked them up, polished them, and made them production-ready. This isn't about being louder, it's about being smarter. Subaru didn't just catch up to Tesla's technology timeline. They leapfrogged it, quietly, efficiently, and now the lead that once felt untouchable is suddenly in question. Because at the end of the day, it's not about who shouted first, it's about who delivered last. And Subaru is delivering. Subaru outsells loyalty and walks away from Elon's America. Subaru didn't have to make headlines to win the war, it just had to make sense to the people who matter. While Elon Musk was busy battling protests, tariffs, and a crumbling public image, Subaru quietly pulled off something that no electric vehicle startup or legacy brand could. It outsold ideology. In blue states like California, Oregon, and New York, Subaru's EV lineup was flying off lots, while Tesla's once devoted fan base shrank under the weight of scandal and software fatigue. But it wasn't just big cities. In the suburbs of Minneapolis, Austin, and even parts of the Rust Belt, Subaru was becoming the go-to brand for reliability, value, and dignity. Three things Tesla could no longer guarantee. What made this shift so devastating for Elon Musk wasn't just the numbers, though those were brutal. Subaru's resale value climbed year over year. Their EVs, built with Toyota's rock-solid battery tech, earned top safety ratings. Consumer Reports ranked Subaru above Tesla in customer satisfaction, build quality, and service reliability. And despite Elon's growing political ties to the MAGA base, Subaru never once engaged in the culture war. MAGA influencers tried to start a boycott when Subaru announced new EV manufacturing in Japan and Canada, but the numbers didn't budge. Subaru didn't argue, it didn't explain, it just sold. And the American consumer answered loud and clear. Brand loyalty to Elon Musk was dead. Loyalty to value, trust, and real-world results, that was thriving. And just as Subaru walked away from the noise, another truth began to rise through the smoke. The people who once worshipped Tesla weren't looking for a king anymore. They were looking for a car that simply worked. Elon's tariff gambit hurt American towns, not Japan. If there was ever a moment when the world saw through Elon Musk's bravado, it was the fallout from his tariff campaign. In an effort to punish countries like Japan for building competitive electric vehicles, Musk lobbied for aggressive tariffs on Japanese imports, positioning himself as the hero of American labor. But the results were anything but heroic. While Subaru's vehicles remained shielded by smart supply chain placement and diversified global production, thousands of small-town dealerships across the Midwest faced immediate pain. Markups soared, deliveries stalled, and in places like Indiana, Wisconsin, and Ohio, auto mechanics and parts suppliers saw orders dry up. The irony? Subaru had already invested heavily in American manufacturing. Their Lafayette, Indiana plant was one of the most efficient in the country. It employed more than 6,000 workers and produced over 400,000 vehicles annually, many of them built entirely in the United States. But the tariffs didn't help that factory. They punished it. Material costs rose, supplier relationships fractured, and layoffs loomed not in Tokyo, but in Tulsa. This wasn't economic nationalism. It was economic negligence. Meanwhile, Japan responded with calm precision. They restructured deals with South Korea and the European Union, absorbing the blow while reinforcing their manufacturing strength abroad. Subaru's executive team didn't tweet or call press conferences. They rerouted parts. They absorbed losses. They protected their people. Elon Musk, on the other hand, threw gasoline on the fire and watched American workers burn. As headlines shifted from stock charts to food banks, one truth became impossible to ignore. Elon Musk didn't outsmart Japan. He punished his own base. The end of Tesla's cultural reign. Buying a Tesla used to mean you were a rebel, a visionary. Now, it means you fell for the hype. As Elon Musk's behavior spiraled, tweets, politics, chaos, so did the brand. Influencers jumped ship, fans cringed, and Tesla lost its shine. What was once a symbol of progress is now Silicon Valley's most regrettable status symbol. Investors followed. Tesla's stock cratered under the weight of missed deadlines, product recalls, and declining consumer trust. Analysts who once defended Musk's eccentricity began to question the sustainability of a brand so tightly tethered to a single personality. Meanwhile, Subaru, never flashy, never loud, watched the empire fall. Not with joy, not with arrogance, just with certainty. Because Subaru never tried to be king. It never built its brand around a messiah figure. It built it around weatherproof engineering, loyal customers, and a refusal to overpromise. And in the end, that's exactly why it won. The throne that Tesla once ruled is empty now, and nobody wants the old king back. Subaru didn't just beat Tesla, it rewrote the rules. This wasn't a race, it wasn't even a fight. It was a quiet, strategic rewrite of what winning looks like in the automotive world. While Tesla bet everything on domination, disruption, and drama, Subaru played the long game. They didn't chase headlines. They chased real-world engineering. They didn't promise flying cars or robot drivers. They promised reliability, and they delivered. In an era obsessed with going viral, Subaru chose to go consistent. While Elon Musk fought for attention, Subaru fought for retention. They built vehicles people could trust in blizzards, on mountain trails, and in family driveways. They focused on safety, battery stability, and customer service. And that choice paid off. So here we are. Subaru, the quiet brand once mocked for being boring, has redefined modern success. And Tesla, once hailed as the future, has become a cautionary tale about hype without heart. Because in the end, this wasn't just about cars. It was about values. Humility beats arrogance. Engineering beats ego. And consistency beats chaos. So now we leave you with one question. What kind of future do you want to drive into? One built on noise or one built on trust? Let us know in the comment below, and don't forget to subscribe.